you're gonna watch me spiral. We're gonna spiral together. Bye. I think I'm DNFing this. And all you do is steal from me. Let's try Saltburn, I guess. Sick and twisted, in my opinion. I have been to the library and collected my big old bag of holds. Today we've actually raised $211. Hello my guys, welcome to a new weekly reading vlog, and this one is going to be a bit of an exciting one for me because it's going to be almost a week, but it's actually going to feel a little bit more like an extended weekend because Curtis is going to be away this weekend. He is going tomorrow morning. He's going to be back on like late Tuesday afternoon, and in the entire time that we've been together, since we've lived together, I have not been alone. Like, he hasn't left for longer than like one night, and that is true, I think, of when we lived at my dad's as well. And obviously, like, when I lived at my dad's it was different because I wasn't home alone, so I'm gonna be home alone from Friday to Tuesday. And I'm kind of excited about it, but I am also kind of nervous because I'm like, oh my god, I have so much opportunity to do fun things. But then also, I've not been alone in such a long time. So you're gonna watch me spiral. We're gonna spiral together. But aside from that, I have kind of left myself some free time over the weekend and also filled some of my time up to give me a bit of purpose, I guess. So I do have a 24-hour readathon with my patrons that starts tomorrow at 6 p.m. Today and tomorrow I'm working as usual, and then my Patreon readathon will end on Saturday, and I have no plans as of yet on Sunday, but I may go to my dad's if I'm feeling a bit lonely just for a break. But we'll see what happens. We'll see how this plays out. In terms of reading, I am still reading Wheel of Time. I'm not even going to talk about it at this point. I am going to finish it very soon. I have less than an hour of the audiobook left, but I'll just tell you my thoughts when I've finished, okay? Because this has been, Wheel of Time is long-winded anyway, but this has been the most long-winded Wheel of Time reading progression, like, literally ever. But the other book that I would like to start this vlog with is actually a novella, but it's a chunky one, because I'm finally going to make some progress in rereading the Stormlight Archive. By not reading the Stormlight Archive, I'm going to start by reading the novella that I need to, that comes before it. So I'm trying to work out how long this is because I know it's a chunky one. It is from page, so this is Arcanum Unbounded. This one is Brandon Sanderson's collection of short stories. I feel like he's gonna have to do a part 2 at some point because this has like novellas in like The Emperor's Soul, and it also has the first Stormlight one, which is Edge Dancer, as well as some like shorter short stories. But the one that I'm reading is going to be the final Mistborn one, which is Mistborn's Secret History. I've heard that this one is pretty crucial. I don't know how this relates to the Stormlight Archive. Like, I don't know why I should be reading it before then, but the first time I read the Stormlight Archive I wasn't even up to date on the Cosmere, so it was fine that I hadn't read this, but now I might as well. And you know how I feel about novellas, I'm not a big fan, but at least, I was gonna say at least it's a Sanderson one. I'm not even really much of a fan of Sanderson novellas, if I'm being honest. This one starts on page 201, and including the postscript it goes to page 365, so it's 145 pages. The text in Sanderson books is kind of small, so I feel like it's going to take me a while. And I believe that this one is following Kelsia, but that is all I know about it. I am assuming that it has some crucial knowledge probably about the magic system, otherwise I don't feel like it would be super relevant. But I'm just actually excited to be getting back into Sanderson a little bit. I've read a lot of romance oriented books this month, whether that be fantasy romance or regular like contemporary romance, and I feel like I'm really craving some fantasy right now, so hopefully the 11th Metal, no, the Secret History scratches that itch for me, and I believe that this one is generally quite well liked. That being said, I don't like short stories or small novellas, so we'll see if I agree. But like I said, I am working today and tomorrow, so I need to go get on with something. I am essentially pre-filming all of my content for July, and I need to make a bunch of thumbnails, which isn't fun. I'm procrastinating on it, I won't lie. But I need to crack on and do that, because after that I need to do some editing, scheduling, and all of that boring stuff.
Your hair looks longer than last June. There's so much I've been dying to know about you. Can I just... But we've been distant. Is it too soon to call pretending it's to ask you what's new? And I hope we haven't lost our way, 'cause it feels that way to me. But I know that when I see oh, I never wanna be. So don't be so mad. I know that it's easy said than done. It feels like it's
So
hopeless.
Curtis has now officially left me. I'm just gonna throw away some rubbish that I've just created. I've finished filming for the day. I have filmed my stats video. I filmed my unboxing for June. And I also just filmed the little sponsor clip for last week's vlog. So I think it's like 2:15. I don't have my phone, I've left that behind. It's 2:15. I'm nipping for a fringe trim before my hairdresser goes on holiday at 3. And I'm gonna be honest, I've got a serious amount of editing to do. I have all of last week's vlog. I have a wrap up still to film on Monday, but then that is the last of my July videos that needs doing, aside from keeping on top of vlogs. So I am on my shit, honestly guys, more than I have ever been on my shit in the past. And as y'all know, when it comes to scheduling videos, this bitch is always on her shit. So I'm feeling very, very accomplished. I needed to come and talk to you guys because I started a book last night, as you might have seen in the B-roll. Completely unnecessary, did not need to start this. And I feel like I'm in one of those moods where like, I can't decide exactly what to read. I want to read a bunch of stuff. Or I should read a bunch of stuff. And so I'm just starting everything at once because I am going to be starting another book very soon when my Patreon readathon kicks off at 6. But let me just fasten you on a tripod. But last night I started Exodus by Kate Stewart. I think that's the author name, I'm sure it is. But if you all watched last week's vlog, you'll know that I read Flock, which is a reverse harem contemporary romance. And I came away from that book not really knowing what I thought about it. Like, I low-key wanted to continue, but also I don't think I actually liked it all that much. So I flirted with the idea of kind of starting it as a bedtime read. So I don't think I'm going to be talking about this book too much, especially in this video, because it's going to be quite a slow process of me reading it. But it is following this girl who, to secure her trust fund, has to go and stay with her dad and work at his company for a year before she goes to college. So she does that and she meets this guy, and he seems quite mysterious. He doesn't want her to have her phone around. He seems to be involved in some shit, but it's like a big secret that she's not allowed to know. And during this time, she also gets close to at least one of his friends. It has a lot of mystery in it. I don't think that the mystery is particularly well executed because it's very clearly a product of omission. Like, the author is very clearly, very intentionally, and very obviously leaving things out. So do I care too much about the mystery? I'm not sure. I'm honestly not sure. The smut was okay, but I still, like, this wasn't the book that convinced me that reverse harem is for me. I'm still not the biggest fan of Why Choose romances. They're just not my favorite. Like, I don't go out of my way to read them, but for some reason I kind of just wanted to go into book 2 and see what the deal was. Now, this is like nearly 500 pages, which almost put me off it immediately because the next one, the final one, is also like almost 600 pages. And personally, for contemporary romance that has a lot of smutty scenes in it, like, it has some sort of plot, but it is predominantly, I would say, smutty scenes. They just don't need to be that long. They just truly don't. Just cut a couple of sex scenes, add a little bit more plot, like, it's perfectly fine. So I might even DNF this. I might decide eventually not to continue with it. I might eventually just never pick it up again. But at the minute, I have started that. I've read like 1 chapter. And I feel like you can expect me to read 1 chapter a day until I get bored of it. But I just wanted to let you know that I am currently reading that, and I just have so much on the go. I think it's worse when I'm starting books and I'm starting all of them at once. I'm not like substantially through any of them, because then it feels like I'm just going nowhere fast, which I mean, truly I'm not. But I just wanted to bring you guys that update before the 24-hour readathon starts, because I'm starting at least 1 book for that. And if I'll definitely get that done in the 24 hours, but if I manage to get that done like tonight, then I might also eventually end up picking something else up. So the amount of books that I'm going to be starting in this vlog is endless. I don't actually know how many I'm gonna finish, I'll be honest with you. Got my salad, catching up on some catfish. I got my baby. Hello. I have finished a book, and it is finally Winter's Heart. I have finally finished Winter's Heart by Robert Jordan. I don't have anything to report, guys. This is my worst reading experience in the Wheel of Time series so far. This literally took me forever. It was hard to get through this book. I had like 200 pages left for like 2 weeks and I just have not been getting through it. I feel like we are truly in the slump era in this series. We had one thing, like one major thing of note happened in here, and then two kind of two or three, let's say, kind of points of interest. But getting up to that part, like the first 400 pages of this were just like wading through mud, and I just felt like nothing interesting was happening. I am a little bit worried because book 10 is actually supposed to be worse. It's supposed to be like the slumpiest book, the hardest book to get through, and it is a little bit longer than this one as well. But what I'm gonna do is, I don't want to do this, but I'm probably gonna start book number 10 tomorrow. I don't have the physical yet. I'm going to the library on Tuesday, and boy am I going to have a haul for you when I go to the library on Tuesday, because if you all watch my TBR, you'll know that I said all but one of my holds just came in at once, even though I've had holds down for months. Yeah, well, that last book has also come in, so I now have like 5 or 6 books to collect from the library, and I'm like, when am I supposed to read all of these? So I'm hoping, I don't know if this is gonna happen, but I'm hoping that I can do like a library reading vlog soon, because I do really need to get through at least 3 of those, because they're the ones obviously that I've had a hold on for months, so there's gonna be people waiting behind me. But as I predominantly listen to the audio, and as I know I'm definitely gonna be walking Brie twice a day while Curtis is away, and also like doing the dishes and stuff, although I do prefer to listen to podcasts when I'm doing the dishes, if I'm honest, but I'm gonna just get that started straight away, and then the ball is rolling on it. I really wanted to jump to Waking Gods by Sylvain Neuvel, and I feel like I could get through it this weekend because I have quite a bit of audiobook time coming up. Then I also feel like I should dedicate that to Wheel of Time and like get through a good chunk. My 24-hour readathon is underway. I finished this while I was doing the dishes. I was a big girl. I never do the dishes. I do all the cooking. Curtis does the dishes. The dishes give me the ick and I hate them. But we're like an hour, what time is it? My phone's literally right here. We are an hour and 20 minutes into the 24-hour readathon, and I've read like the last hour of that. And now I'm going to be moving on to Unbelievable, which is the 4th book, yeah, in the Pretty Little Liars series. So I feel like this doesn't need much introduction. It's a YA mystery series following a group of girls that are receiving threatening text messages, and they band together to figure out who it is that's like blackmailing them and intimidating them. I've been loving this series. It's such like a good, fun, fast time. So I'm gonna read. I've got 30 minutes left of this sprint, which I kind of want to shower. I do really want to take my makeup off and shower, but should I get started or should I do that first? My heart is kind of telling me to go and take my makeup off and put my pajamas on and then get stuck into this, and then I'm just kind of gonna sit here. I might put the Eras tour on in the background because it is Dublin night 1 tonight, so I might do that. I've kind of got over my Taylor hysteria now, so I don't want to bring it back now that I finally feel like I can live without watching Eras tour streams. But I might put that on in the background and get cozy and read my book. But I think my skin feels really oily, so I feel like I may actually go take my makeup off and shower and put my pajamas on first. I have just got up. I'm feeding the kids. I should be taking Brie for a walk because that's normally what we do. Well, it's normally actually what Curtis does on a Saturday morning, but I do it in the week, except not when it's raining. I'm just not gonna do that. I'm actually quite happy for the rain. It's sad because I can't go out, or because we're not going for our walk. You going out now? Come on then. But it does mean that I can sit and read my book with the lovely rain noises and no guilt because the weather is shit, and I love that. I have not read very much of my book, so I don't really have anything to report. I was a little bit all over the place last night, and we rolled a couple of doubles during the sprint, so I picked up The Secret History, which I'm really enjoying. That is so good. But in terms of this one, oh gosh, she's done a poo, so I'm gonna have to go pick that up. I'm 88 pages in, so I have 3 hours until sprints. Oh, let's close the living room door. I got 3 hours till sprints, so I'm gonna get some breakfast, and in about 40 minutes I'm gonna get coffee, and I'm just gonna get some reading done. Put my comfy clothes on. It's actually still quite warm considering it's like a cool rain. It doesn't feel very humid, but I did sleep with the extra, like the orange quilt thing I have. I did sleep with that on last night and also without the fan. So the temperature has cooled down a little bit, which I'm really thankful for. I'm gonna feed Brie because she's waiting for it and get a little bit more into my book. I'm being real brave, guys. I'm starting the Crossroads of Twilight straight after reading Winter's Heart. I don't really want to. I'd rather have a break, but it's got to be done. And we're also heading out for a walk because the rain hasn't stopped completely, but it has slowed down a lot, and Hamilton apparently is guarding the door, so whether we can get out is a different matter. What are you doing? What are you doing? Get out of the way. So it is 6:30 p.m. now. The readathon is over, and I did wrap up sprints only like 15 minutes early, but I wrapped them up a little bit earlier because I wanted time to have dinner and to digest a little bit, because at 7 p.m. I'm going to be joining Kendall Toole's final Peloton ride live, which is real sad. I mentioned in my day in the life vlog, like, she's not my favorite instructor anymore, but when I first started getting into Peloton, and even now I still do a lot of her rides, and I hate change anyway. I hate change, but it's also going to be real sad to see her go. I still have plenty of my faves left, but I do really, really love Kendall. I think the main thing that I like about Kendall is that she does a lot of like pop punk rides, and I also like her taste in pop when she does like 90s pop rides and things like that. So I wanted to make sure that I didn't miss that, and then I'm going to tag a little bit extra on the end. I'm going to take Brie for a walk, I'm going to do the dishes, and then I think I'm going to get a shower, put my pajamas on, and maybe watch a movie, which I literally never do. But I do need to bring you my thoughts on Unbelievable by Sarah Shepherd, which I have finished. I actually surprisingly didn't love this one as much as I loved book 3. Book 2 wasn't quite as good as book 1 either, but then it picked back up with 3. And this one I expected to enjoy a little bit more. I did actually expect it to be better because it is the end of a story arc. We get a big reveal in here, and it kind of closes part of this chapter of the series that we've been following, because we'll be moving on to slightly different things in the next 4 books. But I think my problem with it is that everyone was so much more annoying than they needed to be in this installment. Like, they are annoying, they're overdramatic, they're entitled, privileged, bitchy, whiny, dramatic, they're all of that, but they were just the worst in this one. Emily, the worst. I shouldn't have expected any more from her because I don't like her in the show either. It's her face, and Shay Mitchell is a stunner, but as Emily, she always has this like little furrowed brow, and she just looks like a puppy that's been kicked, and it really irritates me. Aria in this book in particular, her POV was pointless. Spencer, I don't trust Spencer very much, and Hannah is flawless as always. I can't lie, I'm a big Hannah fan, I always have been. So I gave this one 3 stars. Still a good time. I didn't really love the first half, but it kind of picked up and got super dramatic in the second half. I just felt like some of this was super unnecessary. Like, I just don't care about Aria and her parents at this moment, because they actually weren't really relevant to any of the A moments or any of the blackmailing or anything. It was just kind of a continuation of book 3 and her still struggling with her parents, but then the parents in this series just generally really suck anyway. So I don't know, I don't have a physical copy of Crossroads of Twilight, so I'm not sure how much of that I've listened to today, but I'm still in the prologue. It's a 2-hour and 50-minute prologue as usual, and I have read a little bit of Arcanum Unbounded last night and today, and I'm like 58 pages into it, so I still have 110 pages left. Now tomorrow, provided I'm still mentally well, I'm just gonna be having a really chill day. I think I'm gonna go for a run in the morning, and then I'm gonna get a shower, wash my hair, and just kind of vibe all day. If I'm not mentally well, then I'm gonna go spend the day at my dad's. So we'll see what happens. You'll know, depending on what I do tomorrow, how I'm doing up here. But the only reason that I'm mentioning that now is because if I do end up having that chill day, I want to finish this novella tomorrow, and aside from that, maybe watch a bunch of stuff. I don't know. I always like the idea of like sitting around and having like a TV day, but when it comes down to it, like, I just can't sit still a lot of the time. So we'll really have to see how I'm feeling tomorrow. I do not even know if I'm going to manage to get into this ride, guys, because this is unhinged. This number is normally like 2,000. This isn't everybody who's definitely going to be here. This is just people who've like added it to their schedule and said they're going to be here. So whether they show up is a different matter, but that is still a crazy number. Like, if I go to well, that's Spanish, so that's different. This, look. Oh my god. And like Strength with Ben, This is normally like quite, yeah, there's a lot less people do strength than cycling. Hannah, 107. Yeah, like it's not, it's normally like 1,000. So 23, 24 now. Well, wish me luck, because I know at Thanksgiving last year, the servers crashed and lots of people couldn't get in. Okay, I'm trying my best to pick a movie on Netflix. The urge to watch a horror, actually, just to hurt myself, is really, really strong. But then as well as that, kind of want to watch some true crime. I want to watch is it pretty new? It's right at the top. I want to watch this one, What Jennifer Did. But I kind of want to watch an actual film, because I always watch documentaries and reality TV. So I think I'm gonna go for this one. The urge to rewatch something is really strong as well, but we're gonna try this. It has Brad Pitt, Sandra Bullock, Channing Tatum. Feel like it's gonna be not great, but we'll see. Let's go. It's been so long since I've just watched like a normal movie. Hamilton watched pretty much that entire movie with me. Little sweet pie. Brie was coming in and out because she doesn't like noise. Like after a certain time, and not even after a certain time of night anymore, just in general. She truly hates noise, and we have surround sound. So with all of the sound effects and stuff, she was like, nah bitch, I'm out of here. And who can blame her? Anyway, I'm going to bed. I just wanted to let you guys know. I love how I'm holding you really close, but I'm trying to keep hands on my iPad, which has my book on it, and my phone as I head upstairs. I just wanted to let you know that movie was actually really good. I forget quite frequently that, oh, this is spooky, that I actually really like Channing Tatum comedies. I have never seen like Step Up, but I don't find him appealing in, I guess, serious roles. And it's weird because I always associated him with more serious roles. And then I watched 21 Jump Street and I love that movie so much. So actually, even though if you ask me if I like Channing Tatum, I'd be like, yeah, he's all right, I guess. I actually really, really like Channing Tatum. Also really like Sandra Bullock. And watching Lost City made me really, really want to rewatch The Proposal, I think. Is that the one with Ryan Reynolds? Which I haven't seen for years. But we'll see. I want to kind of watch new stuff instead of rewatching, but maybe I'll rewatch that at some point. But anyway, all of that aside, none of this is relevant to anything. I don't need to be here, so I'm gonna go brush my teeth and get in bed and read a little bit. This is so fucking funny. I could not make this shit up. I'm reading Exodus, and I was trying to get to the end of chapter 2, and I was thinking about updating the vlog and being like, I think I'm DNFing this because I just don't want to read it. And it's just this girl going on and on and on about these boys, and it's like what I said about the prologue of book 1, where it's like the author has pretty much gone into like a dictionary and a thesaurus and just randomized words and strung them all together, and it's just like meaningless babble about how sad this girl is. And I was gonna come and tell you guys it's very much like Bella in New Moon, and then I turned to chapter 3, and the beginning of chapter 3, I shit you not, says there's a scene in one of the Twilight movies where Bella remains unmoving in a chair, riddled in heartbreak while staring out the window, watching the seasons pass before her eyes. And on my balcony, as the trees shed and deadened before giving new life to fresh blooms, I realised I'd lived the past 3 seasons of my life much the same way she did when she was deserted by love. How heartbreaking, guys. I feel for this sad little girl so much. I don't want to continue. I could continue, but I'm reading like a chapter every 3 days, so it's going to take my entire life to finish it. So I think it's going to be a DNF. We'll call it a DNF. If I change my mind in the future, you guys will be the first to know. I just received a big old stack of parcels from Amazon, and I don't think I know what these are. So I'm suspecting that Ash has done this, because let's be real, it's always Ash. I'm just gonna go get some scissors. I'm a little bit confused about these two, because I was expecting Ash to send me something. She absolutely does not need to, but on Tuesday she is actually going to be having her first round of chemotherapy, so she's asked me to do some reading sprints on Patreon, which I am going to be doing. And she said she was going to send me some pink supplies, which, like I said, I absolutely do not need. Can you sit down? But let's see what pink supplies Ash feels like I do need for these sprints. Let's have a look at what the notes say. I hope this smells good. Sorry if it doesn't. I have to drink lots of water during chemo, so now you will too. Pink sweets because you are too sweet for doing this to me. Please disregard the happy birthday from Ash. Okay, so she is truly doing the most. I sent you a care package, Ash. You don't need to send me one. I am good. So I think the ones with the happy birthday message that I am to be disregarding are the sweets. You have not. Oh, okay. I thought it was like a massive cookie then, but they are pink gummy sweets. Thank you. She's, oh my God. She sent me a Stanley. She sent me a Stanley-esque mug. Is it a pink one? Oh my God, it's a huge one. That is like unnecessarily big. I do not have a Stanley, but damn, that's a lot of water. I don't even know if I can drink that much water. And then the last thing, oh, is pink gin wax melts. Okay, so I have my Tuesday sprinting kit now. Thank you, Ash. Can you stop it? Oh, that does smell nice. It smells like sweets, like a pink lemonade kind of sweet, but I can definitely smell the gin in there as well. So thank you for my sprint supply kit that you did not need to send me. I'm doing this for you, okay? You don't need to send me things. I'm doing it because I want to. And then these two, which I'm confused about. Okay, we have pink candles. You have done too much. Can't remember if you have candlestick holders. I do indeed, but these are so cute. Hope you don't mind the pink. Thank you again for doing this. You've made me cry. Ash, stop it. I always knew that Ash having my address would be dangerous. And then the final one is a book. Oh, it's something else as well. A pink resin bookmark. And is this a pink book? Okay, it is the Holly Renee book, The Veiled Kingdom. I'm pretty sure that Holly Renee is going to be at Rare actually, so this isn't a bad shout. And the gift note says pink bookmark for the pink book check. You did not need to do this. I sent you things because you need a care package. I do not. But thank you, Ash, for my pink supplies for chemo sprints. You are not doing this again. These are the only supplies that I need for all of the sprints we're going to be doing between now and October. Okay, like no more. This is too much, girl. It's too much. But thank you once again, as always, Ash, for your generosity. Today has gotten away from me a little bit. I've spent a lot of time looking up stuff. I spent an hour looking at things on my phone. I'm going to San Diego at the end of next month, and so I kind of need to plan what we're doing on the free days that we have. And while I was doing that, I started looking at LA and like pricing a trip to LA for next year, which was just so unhelpful and counterproductive to what I was doing. And then I just sat down and read like a chapter of my book when the doorbell rang. So it's now like almost 4 p.m. I did go on a 5k run this morning, so at least I have like achieved something productive. And I've washed my hair, which took forever because I had to Olaplex and like deep condition it. But I'm gonna get back to my book. I'm maybe gonna watch some TV or another movie later on or something. But otherwise, I'm just gonna enjoy my chill Sunday before it's back to endless amounts of editing tomorrow, which I'm really not looking forward to. I literally got up for a second to get my camera, and this happened. The injustice, all I do for you and all you do is steal from me. This isn't fair. But I wanted to come, I guess I'll just sit somewhere else. But I wanted to let you guys know that I have just finished Miss Bond, The Secret History. And I'll be honest, you know, I can't tell you a single thing about what this is actually about because it is such massive, like truly enormous spoilers for not only every Miss Bond book, but also the Cosmere as a whole. And I think that some of the information that was included in this novella was such a choice because the beginning bit blew my mind, the information that we were just casually receiving in the beginning of this novella. And I feel like it's odd to me that this information is included in this novella and not in like a more core installment of the Cosmere, because like I've already read, I should have read this before I read most of the Stormlight Archive, but I have already read the first 3 books in the Stormlight Archive. So there's stuff that I know and have gathered from those books that would have been not explained, but they do kind of tie into stuff that was revealed in here. And I feel like based on how like Easter eggy Brandon Sanderson is, like the man is excellent at foreshadowing. I feel like the information that we received in this novella was just given to us a little bit too easily, and especially in a novella, which I mean, the hardcore stans will read the novellas, but like the casual reader will just read the books in the series. So I did wonder why that is how we were receiving this information. I also feel like for some of this, I feel like we were getting this novella at the time that it was actually happening, at the points in other books where this information was relevant, instead of it being pulled out and made into its own story. Now, the afterword on this novella says that there's a bunch of foreshadowing that I would have to reread, because it's been a while since I've read the Mistborn books. I'd have to reread them now to kind of pick up on that in hindsight. But then I do feel like based on the end of this novella, or like approaching the end, I would have appreciated this extra perspective, this extra bit of information as these events were actually playing out, because I didn't love the second half of this. It just wasn't as interesting. It's also kind of conceptual. Like a lot of Brandon Sanderson books are quite solid, like the magic systems are quite solid, and I felt like a lot of this was, all I can say is conceptual, because I don't really want to ruin anything, but like it's not physically happening. Like it's not two people with swords hitting each other. Like it's a little bit more out there than that, which meant that for me it was quite difficult to follow and like place within the zone of like where it was actually happening. But then also there's elements of the core books that like tie into this that I also didn't love as well, if I'm being honest. So yeah, I hope you enjoy my really cryptic review of The Secret History. I gave it 4 stars. I did really enjoy it, and I'm really interested in, now that I've read it and now that I know, going into future books, knowing what I know. It did make me want to reread Mistborn Era 2, which is something that I said I never would do. But I do think that when I get to the final book in Mistborn Era 2, I'm going to read it with my eyeballs. I'm going to suffer through wax and wane to pay a little bit more attention to the Easter eggs, because I mean, the man's excellent at plots and like plot twists and reveals and stuff. So I feel like I should truly appreciate it. And then after the Lost Metal, wax and wane are done. I don't need to encounter them anymore. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So that's another book down. I have actually finished 3 books during this vlog, which ain't bad considering it's only been a handful of days. I am going to be starting something new. I'm now going back, like I'm second guessing myself whether I'm actually going to DNF Exodus or whether I'm going to go to bed and just pick it back up again, just to not want to read a chapter and then want to DNF, but we'll see what happens. But for now, I haven't had dessert yet, and we have brownie pots. We've got a brownie pot and a cheesecake pot in the fridge, so I'm going to go grab one of those and find myself another movie to watch. Today I have looked through Prime TV, because I looked through Now TV and Netflix yesterday, and I was tempted by this. I've never seen it before, but it has Daenerys from Game of Thrones. Is she called Emilia Clarke? I can never remember her name, but it has her in it, and it says that it's like a romantic comedy. But then I saw Saltburn. Is this gonna fuck me up before bed, guys? Maybe. Do I even know what it's about? No. Do I kind of want to watch it anyway? Maybe. Let's try Saltburn, I guess. Wish me luck. In a truly unhinged moment of my own, I almost just filmed my June wrap up at like 11 p.m. I don't know why. I don't know what came over me. I felt like I didn't feel tired, but then kind of when I was thinking about it and I was like, yeah, cool, we could sort this out. I am actually really tired, and then I was trying to think and my brain was just not brightening. So that is definitely not happening. I will film that first thing tomorrow morning though, because it definitely does need to be done as soon as possible. Your girl is sleepy. Saltburn, my verdict. I do not think that that movie is even nearly as unhinged as everybody led me to believe. Definitely unhinged. I will give it that. But also, I went into it kind of assuming that it was going to be like really artsy and slow. It was definitely artsy, but I was riveted the entire time. I think it's because it's set in 2006 as well, which is like not the most nostalgic year for me. Like 2009, that's my jam. 2006, great time, love the vibes. and I definitely really enjoyed that about it. But yeah, like I just thought it was great. I wish that we had like one more reveal though, because we get the what, we get the how. I want to know the why. Like I really just want to know the why. And you can speculate as much as you want, but it's not going to give you the actual answer. This is why I hate ambiguity, because I don't want to think about the why. I want you to tell me why. And that sadly did not happen. But yeah, I loved it. It also was not what I expected based on the actors in it. I expected it to be different than it was. And I had heard people talk about all these like scenes and stuff, which I didn't think the bathtub scene was as bad as I've been led to believe. But I'd heard people say like all of these things about all of these different parts, and the picture that was painted of it, because I was kind of getting annoyed, like, okay, everyone's talking about these scenes and I don't want to know anything about it, because I feel like with what everyone was saying about it, it's best to go in blind, and definitely would recommend it. But the picture that was being painted by people talking about all these different elements of this movie was nothing, like the movie was nothing like what I thought it was going to be based on all that. So I still had a really good time. I don't feel like it was spoiled at all. And yeah, I loved it. I really, really did. So would recommend checking it out. It is a little bit unhinged, but not nearly as wild as I expected it to be, kind of based on everyone's reaction. I do feel like I am going to spend a lot of time thinking about it though. But anyway, I have brought a book to bed with me. It's not a great book for bedtime, especially because I'm already yawning, but I have picked up The Trouble with Peace by Jo Abercrombie, which I'm really excited about because I gave the first book 5 stars. This one's the second book in the Age of Madness trilogy. The live show is going to be on the 14th of July on Sandra's channel, so keep an eye out for that if you are at all interested. I don't even know if this vlog at this point goes up before the live show, because my schedule is both really organized but also all over the place. But that is when the live show is going to be. If it's already been, I'll link it. But yeah, I might read a chapter. I might open the book, think it's too hard for this time of night and decide to get some sleep, or pick up Exodus again. It is not a good day, guys. It's not a good day, and I don't know why. It could be because it's 1 week until my period. That could be a reason. It could be because I have to work today and I don't really want to. It could be because I'm just generally grumpy, miserable and anxious. That is also an option, although normally it is caused by something. But I just don't want to edit all of these videos today. I just don't want to. I don't want to. I'm really like pre-filming, editing and scheduling ahead of time right now, and I'm at the point where just like another day sat just in front of my computer just watching myself and listening to myself just tipping me over the edge. It's okay though, I only have tomorrow to go and then I have a little bit of a break before I have to get back into some editing. I haven't read anything. Oh, I've read like 2 chapters. I'm on page 15. Yeah. Because every time that I would have an opportunity to read, I'm getting up and doing something because I just can't get my head in the zone. I'm just counting down the seconds till the end of my workday. So I currently have an hour left and I'm about to start editing my June wrap up, which I've just done last week's vlog, which has taken most of the day, which I feel like has made me moodier than I have any right to be. But then yeah, I have this to do and I'd like to get my unboxing done tomorrow, and providing I can get those 3 videos scheduled okay, I'm not going to be like too mad if that's all I manage to get done today and tomorrow. I feel like I always go into things with like great intentions, but then I forget that like different videos take different amounts of time to edit. Like the vlog that I did took a good like, I want to say 3 hours of solid editing, whereas this one will probably be almost done. It's 45 minutes of footage, and by the time we get to 5 o'clock it'll be almost done. I'm gonna watch another film tonight. There's nothing else for it. I'm gonna work out, I'm gonna have dinner, I'm gonna walk Brie, I'm gonna do the dishes, and I'm gonna watch another movie. Maybe something romantic. I'm still thinking about Saltburn though, it was so good. Good morning. I am feeling slightly better this morning, which is great. So far it is only 9 a.m. I'm currently turning my computer on so I can crack on with some editing. I have to finish editing my wrap up today and I have to get my unboxing edited, and if that is all I manage to do before Ash's chemo support sprint start at 2:30, then jobs are good, and that's like my minimum requirement of the day. And I actually feel like, considering how stressed I was about getting things done yesterday, I actually think that that's kind of manageable. I do also need to go to the library. You are going to get a library haul later today because I have 5 books on hold that I need to go collect. I'm going to take my big tote bag because I'm going to need it. I actually was doing really well. I've got 3 books out from the library at the minute. 2 I'm taking back today, so I would have just had 1 if all of my holds had not come in at once. So in between editing while things are exporting, I'm going to go do that. Curtis is back today, which is great because I had to kill a spider by myself last night, and like I know we have some spider fans out there, sick and twisted in my opinion. If they're a little one or if they're garden spiders, I can let them live, okay, but big dirty house spiders in my home, absolutely not. I remember once we were walking, I think we were just walking Brie, and this woman pushing a pram like came around the corner, and she was with this girl who was like a toddler, maybe 3 or 4, and this girl was like crying, like sobbing, and she was going, "I'm not a big girl, I'm not a big girl." And honestly, like, I related with her then, I relate to her now. I do not want to wash any more dishes. I don't want to wash any more dishes. So I have missed Curtis as well, of course, but he will be back this afternoon during sprints. So yeah, feeling much less anxious than I was yesterday. I did watch a movie. I watched The Idea of You, which is the new Anne Hathaway one. I was like 30 minutes into that before I figured out it was Harry Styles fanfic, and I was like, oh my god, not again. Why? I did enjoy the movie though. It's not the best movie that I've watched this week, but it was enjoyable. I did like it. I love like a little romance. I was gonna say every now and then, but when it comes to movies, actually my preference is romance most of the time, because normally if I'm going into a movie, it's for like an easy watch, and romance definitely provides that. In terms of reading, because I'm just going to give you every update under the sun right now, I am 36 pages into this, so I didn't read very much yesterday at all, but with my mood I just kind of wanted to take it easy and participate in brainless activities. So hopefully my plan for sprints when they start is to proof all of the videos that I have edited today and get them scheduled. I've got hair in my mouth. And then got it. Oh, it's one of Bree's. Of course it's not one of mine. And then when all of that is done, I can't edit while I'm sprinting because that's just too much for my computer to comprehend. So I'll get on with some reading and hopefully get through a little bit of this. The theme for the sprints is pink, as you probably guessed from all of Ash's pink supplies she sent me. So I'm wearing like the only pink t-shirt that I own, and I'm gonna use the pink like Stanley cup that Ash got me and stuff. So we have a little bit of a theme going on. Remember to check your boobies, girls. It's important. I have finished all of my editing and I'm so happy about it. I still have 2 videos on my memory card to edit, but they're going up like past the 18th, I think, of the month. So I still have a little bit of time to work on those to get those sorted. And then like I have vlogs and stuff to do. But everything that I needed to edit today has been edited, and I just need to schedule and proof it. And in between my editing, I have been to the library and collected my big old bag of holds. So I'm gonna talk you through those and show you what we've got. So just sticking my hand straight in, we have the Crossroads of Twilight by Robert Jordan, which I have already started. I'm now in chapter 2, so I am like a chunk of the way through this book already. I'm like just past the page 100 mark, which is pretty accomplished, but also like it's barely a dent in this massive tome, which is why I wanted to get a head start on it. The live show is only going to be in August, but if I remember correctly, I think it's going to be quite early in August. It is a 660 page book, which I feel like that's not enormous, but 100 pages also feels like nothing. So at least progress has been made in this, and I can reference back to this now. It's so much easier for me when I have a physical book to reference when I listen to audiobooks. I also have, okay, so this is the last one of my holds to come in. It was one of my most anticipated releases of the year, and it is The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. So I put a hold on this in April, and it wasn't in my July TBR because this started making its way to me after that was already filmed and had gone up. So that is all of my library holds are now here, apart from Gold by Raven Kennedy, which if you watched my TBR, you will know that I didn't know what was happening with that. I emailed them to query it, and they've got back to me today and said that they've just ordered it. So I don't think they ordered it to begin with. I think that was some sort of mistake, but they've just ordered it, and it should show up in the catalogue apparently in a few days. But The Familiar, is it vampires? It's set in Madrid. Oh, it's a historical fantasy, which intrigued me because I really like those. It isn't vampires, but I do definitely feel like it looks like them, and it is about a scullion maid who has has a gift for magic, and so her mistress demands that she uses the magic to assist the royal court. I don't know whether this is a series or a standalone, but it is 379 pages, so I thought it was more between 400 and 500, so a little bit shorter than I expected it to be. Also have my other anticipated release that I had on hold, which is The Warm Hands of Ghosts by Catherine Arden. This one, I didn't order this just because I couldn't be bothered. I couldn't be bothered. So because I have so many books now, and like one of my main goals is to try and whittle them down over the next year or so, I can't be bothered spending money on books, even though I have every other Leigh Bardugo hardback. I was like, I'll just get that from the library. But this one I had a different reason. It's because I love Catherine Arden. The Bear and the Nightingale, the Winter Night trilogy is one of my favorite series of all time, but this one is a war story, and I don't love war fiction, so I didn't want to buy it full priced, which is like £19, to then not like it. From what I remember, it's following a girl who is a nurse. I think it's set during World War I, and her brother dies, so we're following her in one perspective, and in the other perspective we're following the boy who wakes up after an explosion, and he has to befriend or become a reluctant ally to a German soldier so that they can get out of this situation. So we'll give it a try, but war fiction is, I don't want to like be dismissive of it because I know tons of people love it, but for me I find it pretty boring. And then we have a couple of paperbacks to finish us out. Oh, this one is my Patreon pick for the month, which is Fantasy Lover by Sherilyn Kenyon. So this is the first book in like a 30-book paranormal romance series. I don't think it's going to be for me, honestly. I really don't, but I will give it a try. And it's about a woman who summons, I think, like a Greek god who's been cursed by his brother, and it's an accident summoning him, but if she sends him back, I think it will be at the cost of her sanity, so she has to try and find a way to free him. The thing that puts me off this is that it's kind of like the type of paranormal romance where there's like 30 short installments. Paranormal romance like Discovery of Witches, which is like 500, 600 page books, I like. 30, 300 page installments, generally a recipe for disaster for me. And it also follows a new couple in every book, which I also tend to not enjoy. And then the final one is one that I just wanted to see what the hype was about, and that is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I don't know anything about this. I'm still just going to go into this blind, but it's like a super hyped fantasy romance release of last year. Yeah, 2023. And I believe that the sequel has just come out. If I do end up loving this, Waterstones have also just released a special edition of it, so I could pick that up. But yeah, I didn't want to spend any money on this, but I wanted to see why everyone's losing their minds over it. So that is 5 books added to my immediate TBR that I really truly did not need to have to read right now, especially because I go on holiday, I think on the 20th of the month is when I leave to go to London. These are due back at the library on the 27th, I think, but I'm not going to be here, and I know for sure that I'm not going to be able to renew because of how long I've been on the wait list. I'm not going to be able to renew these 3, so I have like 2 weeks to read these 3 books on top of all of the other books that I have to read, and also shelve it or scrap it. We'll see. I'm hoping that I can do like a little library reading vlog between now and going on holiday, but that is like, it's just over 2 weeks and I have to film shelve it or scrap it, so I don't know whether that's going to be a reality or not. It is 7:52 and I am just about wrapping up sprints and shutting my computer down. I've had a blast today, honestly. It was so great seeing a bunch of people kind of come together just to support somebody in our community who's going through a rough time, and it was really kind of uplifting in that sense. So I'm really glad that Ash asked me to do this and I got the opportunity to do this. I actually added a fundraiser to the sprints and I opened it up to free members of my Patreon, so I'm pretty sure that if you head to my Patreon link in the description and you sign up as a free member, you will be able to access the sprints if you want to watch them back. And I have attached a fundraiser to it for the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. I don't know why I can't get my head around that acronym. I stumble upon it every time, but I have added a fundraiser, and today we've actually raised $211 for the BCRF. Can't do it. So that was also great. I wasn't expecting it. I kind of just opened it up to free members and was like, if you want to join to help support Ash, then please, if you can donate a small amount to this fundraiser, then please do so. And we raised more than I anticipated. So if you do check out those sprints and end up watching them back, then please do also, if you are able, consider donating a small amount. You can choose any amount to donate, so like whatever you're able to, whatever you feel comfortable doing would be great. And I'm going to run that fundraiser up until Ash finishes her chemo, which I think is going to be like sometime in October, and we're going to continue to gather from time to time to do these support sprints as well. So I hope you enjoyed them, Ash. I know that I did, but I am going to be wrapping this vlog up here because I have plans for the next couple of days that I'm actually not going to be vlogging, which is refreshing. And then the next video that you guys are going to see from me is going to be Shelve It, or the next vlog should I say, is going to be Shelve It or Scrap It episode 6, which I'm going to start filming hopefully in a few days. Curtis is back now, which is great. I've actually had a really good time without him. I have missed him definitely, but I feel like because it fell over the weekend, I just took the time to really do what I wanted, and I really enjoyed myself. Aside from last night when I was already feeling shit and I had to do the dishes and then take Brie out, aside from that, I feel like I've had a good time. And I never watch movies, so I'm actually really happy that I got to watch so many this weekend. And I do also feel like I got a decent amount of reading done. In terms of reading, I have not read a lot of The Trouble with Peace, which is sad. I'm only 42 pages into it, and I did want to get to like somewhere between page 1 and 200 during this vlog, which I have not done, but I will definitely have this done for the 14th because that's when the live show is. And I do actually really want to settle down with this because it's like a low-key 5-star prediction for me. It's not an official one, but I gave the first book 5 stars, so I've been really excited to get back into it, and I'm really glad that I'm having the opportunity right now. It's just with me feeling not great last night, I didn't want to read, and then I've ended up, it's like 8 o'clock now, I've just finished scheduling all of my videos for the next week, as well as a couple for later in the month, so I am probably not going to read very much tonight either, if I'm being honest. But that is it for this week's vlog. I do hope you've enjoyed it if you've made it this far. If you have, please don't forget to like if you liked it, and subscribe if you wanna, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!
Oh, you bite your friend like chocolate. You say you'll go where nobody knows, with guns hidden under our petticoats. We're never gonna quit it, no, we're never gonna quit it, no.